You've heard this saying, don't judge a book by its cover. But in reality, everybody in this world judges a book by its cover. So if your cover, i.e. your physique, is not up to the standard that it needs to be to portray yourself in a positive light, then that girl that you're interested in, she's gonna dismiss you instantly before you can even speak. About a month ago, I was at this R&B club. It was a nice place, to be fair, good vibes, good music. And as a side point, right, some guys are going to the club solely for the fact that there's girls there. They don't even enjoy the music. I wouldn't recommend, because you can tell, and it's just too thirsty, right? Make sure if you go to the club, you actually like the place, you enjoy the music, and you're gonna have a much better time, right? Now, anyways, I was at this club, I went with a friend, and at some point, a bit later in the night, I think, he spots a girl that he already knows from somewhere, right? And I tell him, yeah, just go to her, I'll just chill by myself for a little bit, it's fine. So he goes over to her, and about 5 minutes later or so, two girls come up to me. Now, I don't know these girls. I hadn't spoken to them so far. I exchanged a few eye contacts with them during the night, right? But me personally, I'm not in the business of hunting girls at the club. I'm only gonna talk to the ones that make it so obvious, that literally come and dance right next to me, right? And these ones hadn't done that so far. But when they come up to me, like I said, there's two of them. And now I notice that one of them actually has a guy with her already. But the other one, she says to me, we're going to the shop now to buy some water. Do you wanna come with us? And I'm thinking, I mean, I guess so. Like, she's looking attractive, I guess so. So we all leave the club. So there's me, the guy, random guy, I don't know him either. And then the two girls. So we go to the shop, we buy some water, and then we just end up getting a taxi back to the villa. Like, I didn't say anything, but that's just how it ended up happening. We go back to the villa, they have a nice swimming pool, we all take a dip in the pool, and then I take one of the girls and we go Bible study, right? The majority of guys can't even comprehend something like that happening to them. But then again, the majority of guys are like 25% body fat, no muscle. And that doesn't happen to guys who are 25% body fat with no muscle, right? So when you get an attractive physique and when you start taking care of yourself, a woman is gonna look at you and think, yeah, that's my type completely. And things are gonna start happening that don't happen to the regular guys who haven't put in the work. If you don't have your physique, your appearance in order, your personality cannot make up for the lack of physical attraction that there's going to be between you and women, right? The first impression that you give is so important. When a woman looks at you, honestly, before it's even a conscious thought, right? Automatically, her brain is going to decide yes or no. Like, that's literally how it is, just the same way as when you look at a girl and you think, like, would I fuck her or would I not? That's what girls are doing to you, believe it or not. Like, girls are not as innocent as you think, believe me. And once you start to get a physique that's attractive, and once you start to deal with a lot of women, you'll realize that girls actually think, honestly, a lot of the same ways that guys do. That sweet looking girl that you think is innocent is still daydreaming about getting absolutely pounded by a guy with a six-pack. And if she looks decent, then that's what's happening in reality as well. The average guy who's looking at her thinking, as long as I'm nice to her, she won't mind the rolls that I have on my belly. No, she minds. She definitely minds. And then there's the guys that will actually complain about the fact that girls don't show them any attention, that girls only want the best guys. That's so shameful, in my opinion. Of course, girls only want the best guys. Those guys have put in the work, most of them anyways, to be attractive. They're lean. They have good physiques. That's the results that you get when you've put in that work to make yourself a more valuable man. You get the results with women. That's as simple as that, really. So if those guys that are complaining spent as much time on MyFitnessPal as they did complaining, they would never complain again, because they would have the results. The swiftness of a girl deciding if she likes you or not can be an advantage or a disadvantage, just depending on you, really. If you put in that work to be attractive, you got a good physique, you got a nice haircut, you look good, then that's a massive advantage. Like from my example at the start, you really don't have to put in that much effort anymore, and you just get girls coming to you, basically. But if you're the average guy who hasn't put in that work, who looks sloppy, 25% body fat, doesn't go to the gym, bad skin because of junk food, all these things, right? Doesn't sleep, he's got bags under his eyes, then that is going to be a massive disadvantage. You're going to be instantly dismissed by basically every woman that looks at you, just because you haven't done the things that are required to be attractive, and therefore you get poor results. When you do the things that are required to get into great shape, then everything about you just becomes more attractive. For example, your posture is going to be better. You've developed those upper back muscles, right? And you've just got more confidence because you look good. So you stand up straighter, you stand up with a better posture, which is more attractive, more masculine. Your body fat percentage is going to be low, obviously. So you're going to have that slim waist. No longer is a girl going to see your tummy through your t-shirt, right? you're gonna have a lean, chiseled, defined face. There's a lot of guys out there who have like, no homo, but they have really nice faces underneath all the body fat, underneath all the bloating and the water retention, you know, from the junk food. They would honestly, some of them could even be models, they just would never know that, because they're 30% body fat, 25% body fat, even up to 15% body fat. Your face is not going to look that great. You need to get to that nice range where you're going to be aesthetic, like 8 to 12% body fat, where you're looking amazing. Then you're going to see what you actually look like. You're going to see what your frame actually looks like. You're going to see what your face actually looks like. And a lot of guys would be surprised. You would never think that some transformations, right? Even I've seen it with friends that I know personally. They were like, when they were like 20% body fat compared to now, say even 12%, their transformation, you would genuinely not believe that it's the same person. I have this one friend specifically, right, from Germany. Nice, he, like, again, no homo, but it's a very attractive blonde guy. But when he was overweight, he was probably like, let me think, probably like 215 pounds, right? And he's dropped now to, I think, maybe 180. And he's a completely different person, genuinely. Now he literally looks like a model. I don't know if he models, but he literally looks like a model. And before, he would just look like the average fat guy off the street, like just like that. And because he's dropped his body fat percentage, now he's looking amazing. And I did a similar thing. I never got as high as he was, to like 20%. But when I was like, you know, maybe 17% body fat, my face was round, my face was bloated. I didn't look good. Even though I was eating relatively clean at that time, not amazing as I am now, but relatively clean, because I didn't track the calories, I just ate too much food, I bulked up. The face was not looking good. I had, you know, more noticeable love handles, just genuinely feeling heavy. But once you get lean, once you get a nice V-taper physique, your face starts looking chiseled, you get that slim waist, you got those abs. When you have that, you have the confidence. And then when girls see that, and even just notice your confidence that you have because of the physique, it just completely changes the game. Now you're a different person. Now you have massive confidence. Your mindset is different. And that's the point that you need to get to if you want to be very attractive, which most guys do, right? When a girl looks at your physique, she's going to think something that's going to affect the way she feels about you, either consciously, subconsciously, it doesn't matter. When you have low body fat, she's looking at you, you've got a nice chiseled face, you've got, you know, veins on your arms. Straight away, okay, discipline, commitment. Like I said, either consciously, subconsciously, it doesn't matter. People that look at you know that you're dedicated, you're disciplined. Like if you walk into, even if you walk into a gym and you've got the lowest body fat there, straight away you kind of know, I've got the most discipline here. And that's a form of status, right? That's a form of value. Not only because of the physique either. Obviously the physique is really nice, but when you have self-control with your diet and with your physique, you know, you don't skip sessions and whatnot, then it's likely that you have self-control and discipline and commitment in other areas of life as well. And people think that, again, subconsciously or consciously, when they look at you and they see that you're in shape and you're lean and you're attractive. When you build that muscle as well, combine it with being lean, that V-taper physique, that's when you start looking like a man. You look masculine. Now you look like you can protect, right? And that's going to be attractive to women, of course. So not only are you going to be lean and attractive, but you're going to have muscle. You look strong and capable as well. It's genuinely a massive difference in terms of the way that people treat you. When you have that physique and a girl's comparing you to other guys, which is going to happen, it's such a massive advantage. Like, bro, girls don't even see guys with six packs regularly. It's so rare. And then when you combine being lean like that with having muscle, and then with having the right muscle to accentuate that V-taper, that nice masculine frame, oh my word, you're living in a different reality compared to the average guy. You're one of a kind, and girls are going to treat you like you are. The best type of situation to be in is when a girl is looking at you and she's thinking, oh my, I need him. Like when you're exactly her type because you're looking so good. That's when it gets so easy. Like most guys, they struggle with women. They have to put blood, sweat and tears into getting a woman to talk to them, right? Because they haven't put in that work up front. Like the way I think about it is they haven't put in the work in the past. They haven't, you know, eaten good food every day, track their calories, gone to the gym consistently, train the mindset, become stronger mentally, to have the discipline to become attractive, to go to the gym and to eat clean food, right? They haven't done those things up front. So now they have to go and speak to this woman and they have to put in all the work then and there. They have to, you know, do whatever they think is gonna get them the girl, which is not gonna work anyway, but they have to talk to her nice and they have to buy her things and they have to, you know, text her rapidly and all these things that the average guy does to please a woman, because he has to make up for the facts that he's just not attractive enough, that she doesn't like him enough. When you've put in that work in the past into yourself, right? And that doesn't change. If you train your mindset and you get a nice physique, that doesn't swap and switch from one girl to the next. Like a guy who's doing all those things that I talked about for a woman who doesn't really like him, when that woman drops him, well, now he has to do the same again with another girl. But when you're looking attractive and when you've put in that work already, that stays with you. You've got the physique in you, you've got it forever. You've got the mindset and you've got it forever. And every single girl who looks at you can see that, and it just makes it so much better. When you've put that work into yourself, before you can even speak, there's a level of respect there. People actually want to listen to you. And on the inverse, right, I've seen it where a guy has gone up to a girl, and of course this guy doesn't look that great, right? He doesn't look like he's got discipline and self-control. He doesn't look attractive, to put it simply. And he's gone to speak to a girl. I've seen it multiple times. And before he can even say anything, the girl's gone like this. Like, don't even try, don't even speak to me. That's painful. That's painful for me to see. I'm looking at that guy thinking, bro, you need to put in that work. You need to become attractive. You need to control your diet. You need to get to the gym. You need to stay consistent. And that will never happen to you again. That doesn't happen to me, like, who knows why, right? You can generate curiosity and interest from a girl just from the way you look, from the way you've presented yourself, from how you look, how your physique looks, right? When you're out of shape, nobody cares. Like, to be honest, nobody cares. The girl's looking at you, you're not even crossing her mind because you're just a guy. You're just an average guy. You're out of shape. That's how it is. But when you've elevated yourself above other guys, you're looking lean, you're looking attractive. You look at a girl and she's looking at your face, right? At this point, she's not even looking at your physique yet. She's looking at your face and she's seeing the defined jawline. She's thinking, who is this guy already? Nice haircut as well. She's thinking, who is this guy? Which obviously makes your face look better, right? So you can start to generate that curiosity and interest straight away. And that's so powerful. Then if you actually do end up going speaking to a girl like that, she's already started playing, situations through her mind, like, who is this guy and what does he do and why is he here and all these things. And that's just so powerful. And you have to take advantage of that. You have to put in that work to become attractive so you can experience those things. And with certain girls and with certain environments as well, it's going to become increasingly more important to be in shape, to be attractive, to have a nice physique. For example, if you're interested in a girl who goes to the gym herself, who is going to be more attractive because she's making herself more attractive by going to the gym, right? If you're not in shape yourself, you're not lean, you're not got a nice V-taper, forget about it. Like, that's obvious, right? A girl's not going to go for a guy who's not in shape as well, if she's in shape. If you're at the gym, for example, or if you're at the beach, at the pool, whatever, in an environment where you can see your physique, if you've not got a nice physique, you're just blending into the background. You're nothing special. When you've got a nice physique in that type of environment and you're lean, you're attractive, you got a nice masculine V-taper, right? That's when things start to happen. That's when people are looking at you like, yo, who is this guy? Like, for example, if I go to the beach, literally everybody is staring at me. I'm not joking. Like, everybody's whipping their heads around to look, and sometimes it gets too much. I'm not even joking. Like, for example, there was one time in Barcelona where I was walking down it's like the beach, and then there's like a pathway where a lot of people walk down just behind the beach, right? And when I'm walking down the beach, like, everyone's got their t-shirt off, right? I'm not being weird by having my top off. It's like 30 degrees Celsius, right? So it's quite hot. I'm walking down the strip and like everybody's looking, every girl, every guy as well. There's even a guy, he was on like his stag do, right? So he's getting married. And he was like, yo bro, let's take a picture. And I'm taking a picture and I have my t-shirt off. They all have their t-shirts off, but there's like 15 guys and me in the middle. And he's like, yeah, pose like this with your muscles. That was funny. I just remembered that. I forgot. And but yeah, that's the type of things that happen. You just get random people talking to you. You get a lot of attention. You get a lot of people looking at you in environments where people can see your physique, especially. And if you want those things to happen, and maybe you don't like attention, but the attention from women especially, it's quite nice, and I'm guessing you want that. So you need to have a good physique. You need to look exceptional. You need to have something about you that's above that average guy, right? That puts you above. If you're 6'5", then you have that already. But most guys are not. Me personally, I'm only 5'8", but because I've got that physique, that's why I got that attention. In order to achieve this physique, there's got to be both a mindset change and a lifestyle change. Of course, the lifestyle change is going to be going to the gym and eating clean and doing the diet and doing the cardio and doing the steps and going to sleep on time and all these things that you already know. Like, obviously we can get into more detail, but the things basically that you need to do to actually put in the actions physically to get the physique. But to do those things, there's got to be a mindset change as well. You've got to think, okay, you don't think that I'm just going to try to go to the gym. I'm just going to try to eat clean. No, you've got to have the mindset where it's a non-negotiable. I'm going to do this and I'm going to get the results no matter what. That's the type of mindset you need to have if you actually want to achieve these results and maintain them forever. Like, I've maintained a good physique for a long time now. And obviously, once you get to this point, you always want to get better. Me personally, I'm going to get leaner. I'm going to get more shredded. I'm going to build more muscle. And that's just the type of way, that's the way that you start to think once you reach your goal. Like, if for example, a year ago, or let's say 2 years ago, right? If I envisioned myself now, my physique now, I would be like, wow, that's all I want. And then once you get there, you think, I can do more, I can get better, I can become more attractive. That just happens. That's just that's just human nature, basically. Once you get somewhere, you just want more and more. That's how it is. And you're on a path of continuous improvement, continuous development. So wherever you are now, I guess you have a sort of dream physique in mind, right? Once you get there, and you will get there if you put in those mindset changes and lifestyle changes that I'm talking about, you will get there, and then you want to get more and more, and the results just get better and better. The leaner you get, the more muscle you get to a certain point, the results get better. So put in that work, take into account what I've said in the video, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Having an attractive physique is unreal. If you do want more help to build that type of physique, to become lean, to become aesthetic, to get those results with women, to build muscle, to change that mindset, check the top link in the description. That's my community, my program, where I'm going to help you to do that. Everything you need to know. You get help from me personally. You can ask me questions. I'm always putting tips in there. I've got modules in there for all the knowledge that you need. So check that out if you're serious and you want to become attractive.